Do you want your situation to change? Are you tired of what is going on in your life? You know, change is a fact of life. We've all been through experiences in the last couple of months that have taken us to a place where we need to do something about our lives. We need to change whatever is going on. So if you have not piled up investment for yourself, you need to do that. If you've not done businesses to hold your family in future, you need to do that. Are you thinking of full-time employment? You need to be thinking about your life after employment or your business in the next couple of years. So if you want us to chat, if you want us to talk about this, please get in touch with us at SEAL Uganda on number 0772443085 or check our website www.sealuganda.com, or on all the social media handles. You can hook me up or Facebook, that is Jean-Paul Olowo, on Instagram, Jean-Paul Olowo, and on Twitter and LinkedIn. Then we can chat a way forward with you. We can help you, we can coach you, we can walk with you this journey of financial freedom. Thank you.
There's a lot that is involved in the civil society organizations. There's leadership in itself, there's management of processes, there's management of the human resource, there's fundraising, there's research. It's a lot that needs to be done. And many times there is a feeling that that is too much for a woman, because she has other traditional roles that she needs to do as at home. So many times as people are looking for leaders in civil society organizations, the priority is usually given to men, because of our society that feels that men have the time, men have the capacity, men have the ability to lead, to take this organization to greater heights.
Leadership is a privilege of moving people towards a destiny, and for me it would be towards God's agenda.
It is a CEO Bench. My name is Eddie Okela. Irene Mutuzo, who is the business development manager for Diwala, and the PR at the same time. It's interesting to note how you're doing these things and how the journey has been. But first, coming back to the show, from where we left, you talked very profoundly about change management and how you were able to manage change moving forward. A lot of us find it very difficult, to be honest with you, to move from one point to the next point. Some people are stuck in jobs. They can't move 15 years, 20 years, no personal development, no self-awareness. The leadership journey is completely severely limited, that they are not able to move from one point to the next, and so there is no growth. Now, when there is no growth, there is no transformation. We want to go to the transformation, Irene. And transformation means you have managed change, and if you manage change, you transform to a different person, and if you did transform from a different person, you transform the community. We begin to see the transformation in the community. You've been to different places. Describe for us the transformation in different places that you have been to.
Okay, so where do I begin from?
First of all, what is your understanding of transformation, the word transformation?
Transformation to me means change, but it also doesn't mean changing completely. There are aspects of yourself that make who you are. you know, those values. Just because you have moved to another place, and maybe there are certain things that aren't going right in that place, doesn't mean that you change your values. So yes, much as, you know, you change and you transform, which is growth, if there are certain values that you stand for, they need to continue being there, because values make you. All these things can go, you know, and even when you're out of a job, people eventually forget you, but people do not forget who you are. People do not forget the values that make you. So for me, that is very, very important.
So do you think Irene Esther Mutuzo or Mutuzo Irene Esther have been a transformative person everywhere you've been?
I would like to say yes.
How did you know that you have been a transformative person? Yes.
For example, again, at New Vision, the pullout that we began grew, really grew, and even to date, it's now quite big. It's been rebranded, and every time I look at the pullout, I no longer send articles, but I'm proud. I'm proud and I'm humbled about how far we have come. I think I've been transformative in the poetry space as well. And when I see a lot of budding poets coming up, I'm happy. And one of the things I do in the poetry space is I sit on the Lantern Meet Foundation board, where we provide
Daniel Mutembesa.
Yes, the Lantern Meet of Poets. That's where I grew as a poet, and we provide a space and initiatives for writers, filmmakers, poets to be able to grow their art, to train them in their art, so that we can get African work out there. And I'm happy that I'm also transformative in that way, you know, encouraging those young people and helping to train them. In my role at Green Hill Schools, I'm happy that, you know, when I came in, I was literally beginning the PR and marketing department. And, you know, it took a lot of work, of course, with a great team. And I keep telling people that you can have great ideas, but if you do not have a team, you know, behind you, a team with you, then those ideas, you know, won't happen. So for me, you know, having a great team, having a great leader, we grew a really strong department. At Diwala, my Diwala is transformative. And the things that we are doing, the things that we have in our minds, our vision, my God, it excites me. And I love that we are making change. I love that we're improving lives. We are solving day-to-day challenges. And I can't wait to share that.
I want to go straight to that, by the way, Irene. But first,
you also talked about transformation in terms of the community. For me, it's been listening to your community. From a business perspective, and I'll talk about the tech world. If you build something on your own with your own ideas, yes, it may be a brilliant idea, but it may not be taken up by the people that you're trying to build it for. So it's important to listen to the people that you're trying to transform, or you're trying to take change to. What are their fears? What do they like? What do they not like? This thing that you have built, this product that you have built, as you continually test it out, when you're given feedback, do you go back and continuously improve that product?
Irene, I'm just looking at some of the messages that have come to me right now, which I would like to read it to you before we go to the next 5 questions of, you know, the final rest of this interview. Number 1, Eddie Okello, thank you very much. I have been following that lady, Aman Obi of Green Hills Academy. She talks very profoundly about our school and my former school. I now live and work abroad in the UK. Ask Irene, not everyone is privileged, or, you know, no, I think he meant to say not everyone is privileged to be where you are. And what would you say to somebody who is not privileged to get to be privileged like you? I'm not sure if privilege is given that way, but
this is relative.
Yes. So I think what I understand from Daniel here is an OB of Green Hills Academy. He says you talk very profoundly about the school. I think what Daniel is basically asking for is that how do you get there? Yeah, it's not really about, I've not heard you talked about being that I come from a privileged background, or I was privileged to have this, or I was given this, or done this. What I've seen from your story is a story of I'm rising to the top, but I have been very intentional about this growth. I've been very intentional about the things I want to do and the things I want to achieve. So Daniels perhaps want to understand, how can one get to that level like you? That's what Daniel is looking for in actual.
I'll share 3 things.
Yes.
1, God. If you want to do something,
yeah,
or if you're not even sure about where you want to go,
yeah,
ask God.
Yes.
So for me, there are days, there are times I've been like, God, I don't know what I need to do.
Yeah.
I don't know the path I need to take.
Yeah.
Please guide me. Place me in the places you think are the best for me.
Yeah.
Place me in places you think I'm going to make an impact.
Yeah.
So 1, God. No 2 ways about it.
Yes.
Then 2, do not be afraid to ask. Do not be afraid to learn. And I'll still go back to that point in my life where I had to ask Mr. Kabushenga for those opportunities.
Yes.
And you know, sometimes we are so scared to ask, you know.
Yeah.
We are so scared to walk into a room or walk into an office and ask,
Yes.
do you have any work?
Yes.
Do you have any position, say a voluntary position
yes.
I can take up?
Yes.
I'm a part-time worker now. Is there an opportunity for me to be a full-time worker? Like sometimes we are so scared to ask, yet when you ask, you actually open a door for yourself. We are scared to learn. We are scared to try out new things. And one of the reasons some of us do not grow or do not move from somewhere is because we are scared of the unknown, which is okay. You know, all of us are, you know, when you're getting into a new field, you do not know what you are going to what you're going to encounter. You absolutely do not know. But the only way you will know is if you actually get into it.
Wow.
And if you fail, it is okay. It's like a business.
Full marks for trying, eh?
Yes. It's like a business.
Yeah.
You know, and when you listen to a lot of these entrepreneurs, in many of their journeys, they'll tell you maybe they started 1 business or 2 businesses that failed, but then they later learned from those failures.
Yeah.
So also never being afraid to fail.
Wow.
Because we are so afraid to fail, we do not try.
Wow.
And that holds us back.
Wow. Well, you're hearing the heart of a new CEO in the making. She's on a rise to the top. Irene Mutuzo, welcome. A great conversation. Coming from Ediwato Ochom, these are one of the people who actually nominated you. I would want to hear his opinion of how you applied for law, and then first week in the law school, you decided to abandon and take off. Ediwato Ochom is a very good lawyer. I wonder I've always told him law is a lot of templates and stuff like that. So if a person is going to do so many things, people like us, like me, will be very bored immediately when I get to law, because I feel like I don't have enough space. Then here you are, you're talking about that. But let me read you a comment from Ediwato Ochom, one of the people who nominated you on this program. Great conversation, Eddie Okila, Eddie and Irene. Irene is pushing the boundaries in Uganda through her work at Diwala. Digital verification services in a country full of fraud is such a timely and excellent conversation. That is coming from Ochom as a comment. I want to read you another one coming. Eddie Okila, thank you very much. I'm following the CEO bench from Rwanda, Kigali. Tell my cousin from another mother. She's actually my sister.
Hi.
That's okay. Dale right there in Kigali, Rwanda, and says, great conversation. I'm learning and understanding. At first, I thought the CEO bench was just about those who have made it already on the top. But I like the fact that the CEO bench is talking to people who are also heading to the top or on their journey to the top. It gets to give us a motivation, some of us who are thinking through. I live and work with the Capital Market Authority of Rwanda. Wow. And one of these days, I'll probably get Irene to come and give a speech to our people when coronavirus comes down. I love to hear what she's saying. Well, I think that there's already people who believe in you becoming a CEO. Their nominations have not gone.
By the way, let me first say, and this I say to Thea is my CEO at Diwala. I just give her a thumbs up for the work she does.
Yes.
I believe being a CEO is tough.
Yes.
It is tough because you know you have so many things you have to juggle. You know, you have to juggle the board, you have to juggle your team, you have to juggle clients. It's huge. I don't know if I'm ready to become a CEO. Honestly,
you're headed there.
But like I say, if one day God calls me and tells me, you know what, this is your next assignment, and makes it so clear. I believe he will give me the wisdom I need to get there. And the takeoff.
Exactly. Irene, as we wind up the interview, I got 5 questions to do with the work you're doing. Which I think is one of the reasons why people nominate you, to come into the CEO bench and to be also in the CEO bench. It's about your work. And I think Diwato Cho makes a very good comment right there. In the world, in a country like Uganda, where fraud is almost an order of the day. You don't know what is happening. You wake up tomorrow and there's a lot of fake news, a lot of things going on, a lot of fake papers happening, and people giving out. When the elections are happening in Uganda, you always hear a lot of fake, papers and going. But you come up with something, digital verification, right? That's what Diwala stands for. I want to take you straight to your company deals with digital verification of documents, okay? Like academic credentials, like academic documents. Why is authenticating some of this document, or authenticity, is very important to leaders in this day and age as a CEO, or why should CEOs pick this in this day and era that we're in going forward? What value does it bring to the table?
Okay, thank you very much. And before I answer your question, I just want to highlight the challenges we face around.
And also want to know what is Diwala
what is Diwala?
Okay,
so Diwala is a Norwegian and Ugandan-based blockchain technology company that was born from a UN Women Hackathon in Norway. And we basically provide a digital solution that enables the issuance and verification of credentials, which could be proof of education, proof of training, proof of health, licenses, and any other important document you can think of. Currently, we have presence in over 6 African countries. And what challenges are we solving? I will begin by sharing that from a personal experience, both as someone that has needed a document and also someone that has needed to verify a document from the HR end. So in 2019, I completed my master's degree. And by the time COVID hit in 2020, I was still waiting to receive my certificate. When everything closed, there was no way I could access it. And I eventually had to wait over a year to get this proof of my education. Now, of course, like many people, when COVID hit, a lot of sectors were affected. And naturally, a lot of people were looking for jobs. And there are also jobs that I looked at and I thought, well, I can do this job. I have the qualifications. But I couldn't even get past the application portals because I didn't have my credentials. And I'm not the only one facing a challenge. Like you said, a lot of institutions, a lot of organizations, reputations are at risk because of the number of forged credentials on the market. Think of forged transcripts, forged certificates, recently forged COVID-19 tests and certificates. And all these things negatively affect reputations of institutions. Then thirdly, on the verification side, the employer, the banks, the authorities, investors have to take a lot of time and money to verify information. I'll give an example of the HR because I've worked in the HR sector before. You'll spend up to $15 per certificate verification and over 250 hours minimum yearly. That is a lot of time and money. And this is where we as Diwala come in. So we provide a platform that enables any institution or organization to issue digital credentials. And the beauty about these credentials or these certificates, if you may call them, is that they can't be forged because they have an added layer of security provided by the blockchain technology we use. Then secondly, recipients of these credentials or certificates, who could be people like you and myself as a former student and alumni. It could be people like you and myself that need our permits. We can be able to access our digital credentials or certificates anywhere we are at any time, whether or not we have a smartphone. And you know, we don't have to worry about things like your certificate getting lost or someone having to fly back to the country just to follow up their documents. Then also the platform enables the easy verification of these documents. Someone can, as long as someone has a link to the document or even has the physical document, they can be able to verify it in seconds. So what was, I could say, 240 hours minimum yearly has been cut down to 3 seconds.
Wow.
Yes.
I can see the reason why they have to hire you.
And we have a vision. At Diwala, we have a big vision. We want to enable the issuance and verification of any important document you can think of. Any important, you know, your ID, your license, your proof of work, you know, service. Today I can say I worked for Diwala and maybe my CEO is my friend and she can write me a reference letter and it may not be true. How do we also curb that? Because a lot of people will have quote-unquote fake CVs. You know, how do we also curb that? So that's what we do at Diwala. And as leaders, authenticity is very important.
Wow.
Authenticity is real. Authenticity as a leader, authenticity in your work. And, you know, this is also a culture at Diwala. We never lie. I'm saying, try not to, but the culture is do not lie. Do not lie about your numbers. Do not lie about what you have done. If something is in the works, clearly say it's in the works. And you know, when we're doing business, we want to lie and exaggerate numbers, and those things catch up. You know, they catch up. Because what happens if someone goes and does a background check?
Wow. Well, the CEO Bench is doing exactly what it does best, bringing you people who will give you motivation to where you want to go, people who are doing it, people who have done it, or people who are already on the top coming down, and they have got a certain amount of experience that they can share with us to go forward. And you are definitely with Irene Mutuzo, Irene Esther Mutuzo. I just like to put your name together so that it can make sense. Irene, our time is fast spent, but I want to go straight to my next question, this last 5 questions we have for you. Your work for the company is that, you know, one, the company is pioneering this for the first time. We've not had this in Africa before. But two, using the use of blockchain technology in this era of pandemic COVID-19 situation, where no longer human to human, you know, meeting is being discouraged. We are not being able to, you know, have hugs like we used to do things the way we used to do, which means even if I want to go, I don't know. But also, there's a challenge that a lot of people don't understand what you're calling blockchain technology, because the language could be different. We need you to explain what is blockchain technology to a common person. If I am a border graduate from Makerere University or from University of Dar es Salaam, but life knocked me so much and I became an entrepreneur and now I ride a motorcycle or whatever city that I am, or I'm doing Okada in Nigeria, you know, what is blockchain technology and how can I, you know, verify this document? Like you've said, first explain what is blockchain technology. I know you've talked about already the other part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So blockchain technology was an aspect that was actually discovered in 1991 by a group of researchers. But it was until 2009 that it was applied, and specifically it was applied to cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin. That's why when, you know, people talk about blockchain technology, the first thing people think about is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, but it can be used for more than that, as I'll be explaining. So I can use 3 words to explain blockchain technology. An immutable distributed ledger. And I'm going to break all these 3 down.
An immutable distributed ledger.
So immutable basically means that information cannot be changed. And in this case, the information that is transacted, if it's say money or documents that are stored on the blockchain, they can't be changed. It's almost impossible to change them. That's why you'll hear things like blockchain technology is very secure, because it's difficult to change, it's difficult to tamper with information that is stored.
I can't go there and remove and replace.
Even if you, so the way it works,
Yes.
and I'm going to now explain it in
Yes,
the distributed,
yes.
the word distributed.
Yes.
So usually, for many organizations and for many of us,
Yeah.
the way we understand where, say, data is kept or information is kept, it's usually kept in one place,
Yeah.
which could be, a server. In some places, it's a laptop, which is working as you could say, a minimal server or a desktop. So it's kept in one place. But the disadvantage of information being kept in only one place is that someone can easily get into it.
Yeah.
Someone can easily hack it.
Yeah.
That information can easily get lost.
Yeah.
So it's in terms of security, it's not really secure.
Yeah.
But the way information is stored on the blockchain is that it is stored in a decentralized manner across a large network of computers. So it sort of creates like a web.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to get into a web and try and change something.
Yeah.
And say if we're working on a document, you and I, and maybe the cameraman,
Yes.
we are having transactions as
Yes.
three friends,
Yes, yeah.
money transactions.
Yeah.
Now, all of us will have access to what is happening in a document. All of us will have access to what is happening on the transactions.
Yeah.
So if, as Irene, I try to make a change in the document, the only way that change can, be approved is if everyone says, yes, we know about it and it is what it is.
Yeah.
If, I try to change something and everyone flags it no, then that thing won't be changed.
Wow.
So that's the way it sort of works. So everyone knows what is happening. So even for you and I, if someone makes a change and it is approved, it will be clearly seen that this person was the one who made that change at this particular time. And that's where also the ledger, I could say, aspect of blockchain comes in. And you can think of a ledger as your day-to-day records, whereby if it's money, you know when someone paid that money, at what time it was paid, and to whom. And that's also the premise of blockchain, to be able to track information in real time, to be able to track changes in real time. So it's very difficult to say that you did something and you did not something.
Yes.
And blockchain can be used for so many things.
Yes.
A lot of people, refer it to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, but it can be used in our day-to-day lives. We have heard of cases in the health sector where we have received fake medicine.
Yeah, of course.
However, if we're using...
we just received injections of COVID-19, water injections to about 800 and plus, as they say.
Sadly. But if, there was that blockchain aspect to it, we would be able to verify the validity of those drugs sent to us, whether they have come straight from the manufacturer, when they have been manufactured, and if it's a batch, is it our batch kind of thing. Blockchain can also be used in the supply chain sector. It can be used in agriculture, whereby as a farmer you can be able to track your produce right from the farm to when it gets to the customer or client. So if there's something wrong with produce or a product and you need to recall a product, it's very easy for you to track where that product went so that you can be able to recall it. Then recently I came across an interesting use case of blockchain, and this company is actually piloting it with a fleet of 100 cars, whereby you can be able to track mileage. So if you have bought a car before or you have gone to the bond, you have heard that, the mileage is tampered with, and there's usually that yellow paper. But that yellow paper can be forged. And very rarely do you also go into those documents